at such a raw age, knowing these people have already established a name for themselves rile up our urge to strive more, isn't it? Seeing how these youngest billionaires rack up that big of net worth is more than a dream come true. Well, might as well take a look through this list. Shall we? Kylie Jenner, a reality TV personality and fashion mogul, took on the spot. Jenner's makeup venture, Kylie Cosmetics, was named the world's youngest self-made millionaire by Forbes at the age of 21. According to Forbes, Jenner created Kylie Cosmetics in 2015 and claims to have made $400 million in profit in the first 18 months. Jenner sold a majority of ownership in her cosmetics company to beauty multinational Coty Incorporated for $600 million in November 19, valuing the company at $1.2 billion. Amidst her contested billionaire status, Jenner has built a cosmetic business, starred in Keeping Up with Kardashians, as well as her own Hop and Hop program, Life of Kylie. Co-founded a clothing line with her sister and made millions marketing stuff on Instagram. Jenner was featured on Forbes' list of America's richest self-made women in 2018 when her personal wealth was reported to be at $900 million. Jenner, who earned $41 million the next before, was the youngest star on the Forbes 100, a list of nation's highest celebrities that comprises Chance the Rapper, Justin Bieber, and Taylor Swift. Tracing back to Norway, Alexandra Andresen, now 23, was 19 years old on Forbes' Billionaires list in 2016. Forbes dubbed her the world's youngest billionaire at the time, though Forbes claims that reality TV star Kylie Jenner and her booming cosmetics empire have already surpassed her. However, although Jenner is known for flaunting her range of luxury vehicles, which includes 2 Range Rovers and a Rolls-Royce, Alexandra and her sister Katharina, 24, who received her billion-dollar inheritance in her teens, are said to have more reasonable car buying criteria. The Andresen sisters hold a large piece of Ford, but they also run their own businesses. Alexandra competes in equestrian competitions, and Katharina works as an apprentice at Ernst & Young. Per the company's website, the Andresen family riches stretches back to 1849, when the sisters' great-great-great-grandfather, Johan Henrik Andresen, purchased a tobacco business and built it into Norway's premier tobacco producer. The family, on the other hand, sold their stake in the tobacco company for about $500 million in 2025, effectively removing tobacco from the Ford portfolio. Ford had moved on to other endeavors, such as real estate, by that time. Gustav Magnar Witzoe is the successor of SalMar ASA, one of the world's largest salmon producers, which his father, Gustav Witzoe, created in 1991. SalMar, one of the world's leading manufacturers of organic salmon, is owned 53.4% by the Witzoe family's financial arm, Cuerva. Scottish Sea Farms and Arnalax HF are 2 aqua farms it owns in Scotland and Iceland, respectively. To prevent a possible inheritance tax, his father donated him a 47% ownership in SalMar when he was 19 years old. The senior Witzoe is still in charge of the day-to-day operations of the Norwegian fish farm enterprise, which operates in both the center and northern portions of the country. At the age of 19, the young man inherited a 47% stake in SalMar ASA from his father Gustav, who gave him the money when he was 19 years old. It was supposedly done to prevent a big inheritance tax payment, similar to the choice taken by fellow Norwegian billionaire Johan Andresen in 2007 when he gave his daughters Alexandra and Katharina more than 80% of his enormously successful investment firm, Ford. Gustav Witzoe's net worth is estimated to be $3.4 billion at the moment. He holds shares in Scottish Sea Farms, the UK's second largest salmon breeder, in parallel to his fashion modeling professional career at Salmar ASA. I'm pretty sure that almost everyone here has Snapchat on their phones, right? The French-American tycoon magnate is the mastermind behind the now trendsetter app. Evan Spiegel, a French-American entrepreneur with a net worth of $13 billion, is one of the wealthiest individuals around the globe. Evan Spiegel made most of his money as a co-founder of Snapchat, which is now officially known as Snap Incorporated. Spiegel offered a proposal for an app with transitory messaging for a class project while a student at Stanford, where he studied product design. Although his classmates did not think it was a great notion, he persevered. Nevertheless, he collaborated on the project with fellow Stanford students Bobby Murphy and Reggie Brown, and the concept was dubbed Peekaboo. They subsequently changed the name to Snapchat, and by 2012, the app had surpassed 1 million daily active users. As a result, Spiegel withdrew out of Stanford shortly before graduation to focus solely on the app. The software lets you take a picture of something, add words or a drawing to it, and then share it to a friend. Snapchat obtained a $10 billion investment from venture capitalist Kleiner Perkins in August 2014, valuing the corporation as a whole. Snap Incorporated recently launched on the New York Stock Exchange on March 2, 2017. The startup was supposed to go public at a price of $17 per share, but it instead began at $24. Spiegel made a $272 million pre-tax bonanza, approximately $180 million after taxes, on the day of the IPO by selling 16 million shares. Spiegel was one of the youngest CEOs of a public business when Snap went public. He was 26 years old at the time. At one time, the founders turned down a $3 billion all-cash takeover offer from Facebook. Fifth in the rank is Ludwig Theodor Braun. He is Ludwig George Braun's youngest child, who took over B. Braun Milsengen AG, was founded in 1977 with only $24 million in yearly revenue and has since risen to become one of the world's top pharmaceutical manufacturers. Hospital Care, which provides filtration and injection solutions. Aesculap, a manufacturing company of surgical equipment. OPM, Outpatient Market, which sells medical products to specialists beyond the hospital market. Avitum, a carrier of dialysis and other blood biological treatment, leverage 54,000 people worldwide and generates around $6.5 billion in annual revenue. Ludwig Theodor holds about 10% of the family business. The Braun family still owns the company, which was incorporated in 1839. B. Braun offers about 5,000 distinct medicinal goods, with the firm producing 95% of them. The corporation made 6.9 billion euros in revenue in 2018. Adding to its continuous success, Eva Maria Braun Budig is a member of B's independent directors. Braun Milsengen AG is a medical and pharmaceutical firm located in Germany with operations in more than 50 countries. Hospital Care, Aesculap, OPM or Outpatient Market, and Avitum are the four segments that make up the corporation, which employs around 54,000 people worldwide. Eva Maria owns 11.7% of the company, which has a net worth of $6.5 billion in yearly revenue. Ranking number 4 on the list are John and Patrick Collison. When John and Patrick Collison were still teenagers, they leased their first company for $5 million. After a decade or so, the corporation they established is now worth $95 billion, making it the fastest growing startup in the United States. The current estimate for Stripe Incorporated, their online financial processing startup, places John, 30, and Patrick, 32, among the highest self-made millennial billionaires in the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, with a combined value of nearly $11.5 billion. This low-key approach is reflected in the company, which has experienced tremendous development while operating in an increasingly regulated payments industry. Stripe stays hidden behind the scenes while processing millions and millions of dollars in payments annually for companies like Zoom, Deliveroo, Lyft, and Instagram. Stripe halted Donald Trump's campaign funding platform in January following the U.S. Capitol incident. But the Collisons have steered the firm out of so much of the regulatory drama and public criticism that has consumed other topmost tech companies like Uber and Facebook. Stripe, however, was among several initiatives Patrick and John were working on at the time, including an unencrypted version of Wikipedia, the online encyclopedia. Carny adds, they're definitely hyperlinked men. When you get into a topic with them, it immediately escalates to a level of intricacy and intelligence. Let's go back to Snapchat, shall we? Bobby Murphy, the second youngest billionaire, is a co-founder of the popular digital messaging app, which is followed on the list by Evan Spiegel, the youngest billionaire. Bobby didn't have the corporate support he needed when he started his career, but he managed to do it all on his own, thanks to a succession of joint endeavors with Spiegel. The app didn't take off with the idea when it first launched, and the pair was on the cusp of another disaster. But they battled through the challenges and overcame them to make it worth $19 billion. Being the independent, self-made billionaire that he is. From the land of China, Han is worth $1.2 billion US dollars, or $1.5 billion US dollars. The 27-year-old inherited 27% of Juneyao Airlines Company, based in Shanghai, from his father who died in 2004. Since its first public offering on May 27, the company's price has risen by 10 cents per share per day, which is the daily limit in China's state-regulated stock exchange. The laws don't appear to be stopping anyone from cashing out like bandits, as the Shanghai Composite Index has risen 58% in value in the last year, resulting in the creation of more than 75 billionaires in China. As many as 3 of those millionaires come directly from Juneyao's airline's wage bill, depending on how you calculate them. There's Wang Han, as well as his uncle Wang Junjin, who is the firm's chairman and holds a 26% stake in the corporation. Another uncle, Wang Junhao, is well on his way to becoming a billionaire as the company's stock continues to rise. Aside from becoming a billionaire through his family's aviation industry, Wang Han does not seem to have spent much of his life in the public spotlight, at least not in the English-speaking world. At the age of 27, and with a net worth of $1.2 billion, he can afford to go after whatever he wants. We have seen how these profiles are probably one of the most mind-blowing wealth that they could harbor. Though gifted in such wealth that was handed over to them, the weight of responsibility on growing more and more with that money that they already have in their pocket, whether preventing themselves under the limelight, we can only realize how itchy having that big amount of money, but having to work your butt off to never fail your own bloodline.